Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Love for Intuitive Astrology. As promised, I will make the video today about the nodes in astrology. So when we're talking about the nodes, we're talking about the North Node and the South Node. And I will explain to you what does it mean for the different houses. So where you have it in your natal chart, so you have to check your natal chart, where are your nodes? And they are always in exact opposition. And these are mathematical points in the sky. So these are not planets. These are mathematical points in the sky where the moon's orbit intersects with the plane of the ecliptic. Okay, this is complicated, doesn't matter, it's just a little explanation. It's basically a fated destiny. They describe your fated destiny in your life. Okay, so things where you came from, which is the South Node. I have some paper, so I show you what it looks like. So some little drawing. Okay, so this is the North Node and this is the South Node. Okay, this is what it looks like. My drawing is awful, but just to let you know what it looks like, where you can find it in your chart. So you can look up your own birth chart. There are definitely a lot of websites where you can do this. So yeah, these North Nodes are describing where you've been and where you will go. So the South Node is related to past lives. So these are talents that you developed in your past lives. So when you were born in this life, these things came to you naturally. So naturally, these things you want to achieve, you want to pursue, because you're like, okay, I'm good at this, I want to pursue this. But in some cases, we already closed this destiny, fulfilled this destiny, and we have another path to walk that is maybe a little bit more uncomfortable because it is something you maybe have never done before. So this is the North Node, it's your destiny. So in a way, this will help you with your purpose. I always say, look at the planet of karma, Saturn, so you can resolve your karma faster. And then look at your nodes. And I'll explain to you a little bit how you can read those, okay? Because in some cases, there are planets conjunct the South Node or the North Node, or square or trine, or sextiling. It's confusing because with the South Node, like I had this in my own chart. I was born with Jupiter conjunct the South Node. So, it makes you naturally a teacher, someone who had many spiritual lives. So naturally, I was born with a super intuition and I really wanted to do something with it. But then what happened is I started a mindfulness magazine. I was just doing meditation and all these kind of things. Didn't work out. Nothing worked out. And my North Node in the 3rd house, so my South Node is with Jupiter in the 9th house, and my North Node is in the 3rd house in Aquarius. So Aquarius likes the big public, wants to send a message to the brotherhood, to change the future, doing something different. So I'm taking an example from my chart to explain to you how it works. So when you look at Aquarius, the ruler is Uranus. Uranus in my 2nd house of possessions, of self-worth. So in order to make money, I need to do something different, something intellectual, out of the box. Can you think of something better than astrology? Using my intuition from my past lives, combining it with astrology, and I started an agency for content. So I'm working with writers and content, intellect. These things just happened. They came on my path. And I had to let go of being a meditation teacher, letting go of, this feeling that of entitlement, because that's what happened with Leo. You know, Leo wants to be first. You know, people with South Node in 9,000 Leo often have been royalty, so they feel the world should be surrounded by them. And trust me, life broke it down. You're nobody. We'll make sure you're nobody. You know, I was bullied, all these things. It's like they completely cut you off, and you have to become united. So this is how you can work with what you have. So if you have your Sun conjunct the South Node, that means that you're not completely finished with your South Node task. So you can become the South Node and combine it with your North Node. You know, and at the same time, when you have a planet conjunct your North Node, so you look at your sign and then you look at your ruler, okay? So, I mean, it would be confusing if your North Node is, for example, in Leo, and, you know, your South Node is conjunct the Sun. This is okay. You can embrace still being a Leo, being in the spotlight, having the sunshine on you, you know. If you have Mercury in connection with your North Node, you're definitely supposed to do something intellectual, writing, communicating, anything like that, okay? So if you have squares with the North Node and the South Node, because it makes a T-square, okay? This is an opposition and the square, so these are all aligned together. This basically means unfinished business. You did something that you were ignoring in past lives, and in this lifetime, life will make sure that you won't ignore it any longer. So there's no more ignoring. So, for example, if you have your nodes square the moon, you were not comfortable expressing your emotions, being vulnerable, embracing your feminine energies, you know, got male or you know, female, doesn't matter. We all have masculine energy, feminine energy. So this nurturing quality has been overlooked. You might have been someone very cold, and when you were born into this lifetime, emotions must have been very difficult for you to express. You saw it as something really stupid, you know, like, oh, why would I express these emotions? This is so uncomfortable. So there will be females, the moon is related to females in your life that will help you on your path or make it very difficult for you. This could be your mother, this could be your friends, this could be anything. So these women are making sure that you are focusing on your destiny. So, you know, same with the Sun. Sun is male, could be a father, same thing. You have problems, you know, embracing your own destiny or embracing who you are, your own ego, your Sun, and you will be forced to get there. And there's no shortcuts in doing so. So the squares are, you know, they make you work for it. And they force it on you. So you have basically no choice than to embrace this, to focus on this destiny. So as a child, naturally, you're going into your South Node mode. And, you know, after your 30s, after Saturn return, maybe after 35, depends how fast you are with acknowledging your new destiny, which oftentimes is forced upon you if you're not following it. So the more connections you have with your North Node, the more you have to focus on that destiny. So it's very important to see. So check where is Saturn, check what signs is your South Node in, what sign is your North Node in, and also the rulers of these houses, okay? So Gemini, Mercury. Then we have, you know, Aries, Mars. So you check where are the rulers of these planets. And then you can work with it. You can see more or less how you can bring your destiny together and how to get there maybe a little bit faster without all the bumps in the road, you know, because these patterns in your life happen to get you where you need to be. So, did I cover everything in general? So this is, I mean, they also call it the dragon's tail. I like this name. So it's definitely something faded. Also, when it comes to your transitions, when there's planets, you know, conjuncting your North Node, or when the North Node is in a specific sign, you're really about to release something in that area of your life, you know, and it will be there for like 2 or 3 years. So you have to pay attention to that. Then let's start with the houses and see what it means to have South Node, North Node in each house and how you can work with it, okay? So I definitely say don't leave completely your South Node, work with it and let go of all the dark stuff of that sign. So let's start with the first house. Also the house of Aries. So, you know, what I suggest is that you combine your house sign with the ruler of that house. So for example, you have your 6th house, which is ruled by Virgo. If your North Node is in the 6th house and it is in the sign of Libra, which is 7th house, you have to combine those two to get a better understanding. And then the planets get involved, and then the transits or the connections, you know, the trines, the squares, all those things. So yeah, when your North Node is in the 1st house, your South Node is in the 7th house, okay? And the 1st house is related to leadership, action, taking action on things, being the first one, being a little bit impulsive. But in your previous lifetimes, you've done something that's always involving a partner. So you were always relating to someone. You were used to be in a relationship, in cooperation, in a business or with other people. And, you know, with the North Node in the 1st house, it really forces you to develop your own personality, to focus on yourself. And these people at the beginning of their life, they're desperately trying to find a relationship which is not working out. The best relationship comes after you discovered your own individuality, your own personality. So you're not doomed to not find a relationship. It's just the universe is telling you, you have to become a whole person, your whole self, in order to relate to someone else. Instead of looking for your other half, you're gonna look for your other whole. Once you're whole, this is definitely possible, because you have to focus on your leaderships and focus on you as a person. And also, you know, not to be afraid to take initiative and take the first step. This is going to be very uncomfortable at the beginning, but this will be, you know, instead of being a people pleaser, you can just say, okay, this is what I want, so this is what I'm going to do, which is very uncomfortable for you and will come with time, you know, because you will always take other people into account, but now it's different. So yeah, look at the qualities of Aries to understand a bit better what the North Node in the 1st house is about. But definitely about embracing yourself, dress the way you want to, be who you want to be, you know, and it's really important to follow your own path and don't give it up for a relationship. Because in previous lifetimes, you put yourself away. You said, I'm not, you know, I'm going to give up something. You know, your partner would move abroad. You would give up everything. Or you would start a family and give up your job as a woman. But as a man, you had to sacrifice something for your family. There was some sort of commitment that made you maybe sacrifice something. And now it is time to explore what it is that you want, that you want to do. So yeah, this is the North Node in the 1st house. Let's move on to the next one, the North Node in the 2nd house, ruled by Taurus. So, you know, when we look at the second house, we're looking at qualities of Taurus. And your south node was in the 8th house. And the 8th house is all related to other people's money, the occult, everything related to taboo, sexuality, everything hidden below the surface. This is ruled by Scorpio. So now it's time to focus on business, setting up a business, for example, or finding ways to make money. But this is not other people's money. This is your money, your possessions, your money. And this is related to your self-worth. So maybe when you were younger, you always felt you had to rely on someone else to have money. Okay, I want to start this business and I'm looking for investors that will support me with this money. Or I need to be with someone in a joint venture to get what I need when it comes to money. Or I need the occult to make me feel worthy about myself. But now it is time to take the talents from the 8th house, but also focus on how would you like to make money. You need to understand that you are worthy of luxury, that you are worthy of having what you want to have, you will see once you focus upon I'm enough, just me, I can make the money for myself. I can, maybe you're becoming self-employed, or, when you look at Taurus needs to build, Taurus needs stability. So you're looking at how can I make my life stable with the possessions that I want to have. So yeah, you can use 8th house things, but you can, maybe you have this charming way of getting what you want. But Taurus is saying you have to build. So you can use your charm while building something up, And with charm, I mean that 8th house people do know how to squeak things the way they want to, because it's related to Scorpio, which is, in its worst way, knows how to manipulate, but in its best way, it knows how to read people and answer people's questions and transform them. So these qualities you can both use to read the North Node in the 2nd house. So if you're someone that doesn't care about money and you're like, we're all gonna die one day, so who cares about possessions? Well, you have to let go of this and you can start treating yourself with nice food. You can start treating yourself with some dinners, find ways how to invest, find ways how to build, to get the right bank accounts, to, what can I do with my money? How can I spend it the best possible so I can enjoy my life in luxury? Okay, so this is the North Node in the 2nd house. Let's move on to the North Node in the 3rd house. This is ruled by Gemini, so this has a very Gemini quality. And when you think about Gemini, this is a sign that's very curious, wants to get out there, wants to know information, and this sign wants to relate. So what do you think about this? Want to know all this is the intellectual information. So think about communication. This is the 3rd house, has to do with communication. This has to do with smaller facts. The 9th house, when you have your south node there, this is about big quests, big trips, big travels, studying languages, getting to know the world, cultures. 3rd house is siblings, neighbors, small trips, seeing things from a smaller perspective, like getting to know your neighbors, getting to know your neighborhood friends, settling in one place. Because with the south node in the 9th house, you were used to make big travels, and some of you will in the early time of their lives, they will still make big trips, to different continents, and still use this kind of knowledge. But the real trick is to use this big knowledge that you brought, this wisdom, into your own neighborhood, into your own environment, to communicate with the people around you. And, you know, to, instead of philosophy, you focus on maybe something more intellectual. Like I said in the introduction, you know, like I still have planets in my 9th house, so I use these tools together with 3rd house tools, and, you know, see what sign it is in, so you can use both to fulfill your destiny. And you will know where you need to go doing this. So writing, communicating, anything related to communication is really, really good. Okay, so this is the 3rd house, North Node in the 3rd house. Let's move on to the North Node in the 4th house, also Cancer. So yeah, when we look at Cancer, Cancer likes to feel at home. Even when they're somewhere else, they want to feel at home. These are your roots, where you came from, your family. This is all related to the 4th house. And the South Node is in the 10th house. 10th house is the public, you know, it's very ambitious. When we look at Capricorn, wants to have accumulating wealth, authority, being, you know, being someone. So you were a someone in your past lives, and, you know, now need to know what it is to have a family. So some of you will start a family. This will not be in the early years because you're feeling uncomfortable. You want to be someone. You want to have a big career, you know? Once again, I'm saying don't deny the 10th house or the South Node, but, you know, work with it and find the right balance between a career life and a family life. There's also a karmic aspect when it comes to your family. So maybe they weren't the type of family that made you very happy, but it is time to understand what family means to you. So this could be family by meanings of friends. This could be family of your own, and also your roots. So definitely some maybe ancestral meditations, things that will heal your karmic family lines, will definitely help with this destiny. And maybe some of you will work from home. You know, this is something that is in your destiny as well, that you are kind of, you know, you're doing your job from your home situation, or, you know, very 4th house related jobs or real estate, everything to do with houses, home decorators, designers. Think about hotels, starting a bed and breakfast, a place where you live and you have something on the side. This is definitely 4th house stuff. Nurturing. You need to feel nurtured by where you are. So this is a very important aspect of the North Node in the 4th house. So let's move on to the 5th house in Leo. So when we see Leo wants to be in the spotlight, is ruled by the sun, is a sunshine, okay, is self-expressive. So 5th house is all about self-expression, children, romance. You know, this is all very uncomfortable for you. You feel that you are part of a group, that you should be, you know, you just feel everyone's equal. Why am I special? In this lifetime, you have to find out what makes you special. You have to learn how to enjoy being one-to-one instead of you with a big group, you in the masses. No. You know, you can use this Aquarian energy to, you know, how do you say, make people comfortable. But in a way, you can express your uniqueness. You know, your uniqueness while seeing everyone as an equal. This is very beautiful. So yeah, it's time to be a little bit more selfish. Maybe you never wanted children when you were younger. You felt really uncomfortable with that idea. And after a certain age, you will have children, or maybe life will force you to have them, you know, to realize that they actually make you really happy and you didn't know that was possible. So this is all about playfulness, being playful, enjoying your spare time, self-expression. You know, life is not all about, you know, hard work or, you know, doing something for everyone. This is time to do something for you. Instead of being in big groups, you're now focusing on you as an individual and what your talents are, your personal talents. Also, you know, it's time to enjoy dating. It's time to enjoy romance, your spare time. I say this is nice. This is a nice North Node. So this is the North Node in the 5th house. Let's move on to the North Node in the 6th house. So 6th house is ruled by Virgo. Virgo is the hard-working sign. So 6th house has to do with your routines, with your work, things that make you happy when doing your routines, okay? So in the 12th house, you were someone without any routine. You were maybe meditating in the Himalayas, waking up whenever you want. You know, you were more spiritual, or maybe you were someone that worked behind the scenes. Maybe you were someone that was in prison. So you can feel, when you come into this world, you feel a bit isolated. You feel like you are very lonely. You cannot relate to anyone. You spent a lifetime very behind the scenes, very much on your own. And now it's time to come out and be of service. But it's a service that you can ask money for, okay? And something that you really enjoy doing, and that involves other people as well. This is also the house of pets. So, you know, if you really want to have a pet, maybe you don't like animals, and then you find a stray cat or a stray dog somewhere. I mean, it really depends where you live. Could be on a holiday, and you feel there is some destiny between you and this pet, and you have to take it home. This could definitely happen with your North Node in the 6th house. So these are very Virgo related qualities. So organization, working as a nurse, I've seen this a lot. Working with alternative medicine, working, because Virgo is the sign of health. Anything related to food. It's very important to focus on healthy food. So maybe you're, before, people in 12th house are, you know, it's the last sign. They want to be one with the mass, the subconscious. So they don't care so much about food anymore. 6th house is about healthy food, sports, routines, getting, you know, waking up at 7, going to the gym, starting your work, and this routine's gonna make you very stable and very happy. So you can use, oh, I see my battery is like going down. Okay, I'm back. The problem is fixed again. There was something with the battery. And as you can see, I'm kind of filming in one go. So, okay, let's move on. I was talking about the 6th house in Virgo. So yeah, definitely health, sports, routines are very important. And, you know, you might feel a bit lonely when you were younger, but you start seeing purpose in being of service for people on a different level, on a smaller level, you know, being of service for a boss, working for a company, working, like I said, alternative healing, medicine, because you have your spiritual knowledge, or you spend a lot of time in solitude to think about life. So when it comes to your knowledge about what's going on behind the scenes, you know, because when we look at Pisces is the sign that dissolves with the rest of the universe. Just wants this romantic ideas. You know, a lot of writers have 12th house placements because they are a direct channel of the divine. So you can use these talents in your 6th house North Node for you know, a job. And still Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so you can still use your writing skills. For example, you can become a writer in a company. There's many options. At least you're gonna work hard and you're gonna enjoy it, because usually 12th house is not necessarily about hard work. It is more about becoming one with the universe. No matter what your destiny is, the universe decides and you can have no saying. In the 6th house, you can have a saying. You can say what you want to do and what you want to become. So that's very positive, isn't it? So with that being said, let's move on to the 7th house. This is ruled by Libra. So with the North Node in your 7th house, relationships are a little bit uncomfortable for you. When you came into this life, you were someone that was very goal-oriented. You were focused more on yourself, developing yourself as an individual. You know, you can think about an actor or someone that, you know, is really following their own purpose, their own leader. And, you know, with the North Node in the 7th house, you're going to have to learn how to be with another person in business or in a relationship and how to relate to other people. So this is very uncomfortable, but you will have a faded relationship that will get you out of this individualistic feeling and into learning how to compromise. You know, Libra is a sign that is all about compromising. That's why it often has to do with the law. So many of you, especially if you have connections with your midheaven, could be lawyers or someone that is working for a sort of organization that will help balance out. You know, it's all about honesty, balancing. You do this and I do that. It's like the skills need to be balanced. You don't want things to be out of balance. So when you're on your own, things are not balanced because you're missing another person. So you're learning how to relate to other people. Libra is also very related to everything artistic. So artistic expression, it's ruled by Venus, love, money. So yeah, definitely, I mean, it's quite clear that in this lifetime, it's time to focus not only on yourself, and you will see you will have tendencies in the relationship to run away and to be by yourself because it is something very uncomfortable. It is something that you rather not face. You want to be by yourself. You want to develop, you know, work on your self-development, doing your things. You know, being this leader, being this initiative taker. But now it's time to put that aside and to listen to what it is that someone else wants, what it is that someone else wants to do. So yeah, this is about balancing the skills. That is it for the North Node in the 7th house. So let's move on to the next sign or the next house, which is the 8th house, and it's ruled by Scorpio. So if you have your North Node in the 8th house, you're definitely gonna learn how to be in a life that is going through big transformations. So you came from a very solid, you know, rock solid lifestyle. You know, your past lives were based on money, accumulating money. You are naturally drawn to do so. Doesn't mean you can't make money. It's just that usually money comes through different aspects, like a marriage partner, like an inheritance. And then you're gonna work with your South Node, okay? Also, you can have a definite interest in the occult. Why does this often happen? It is because these big transformations and the experiences that you had in your life that you are like, wow, if this all can happen, there must be something more. And this is why often people dive in the occult, because you want to believe something else is out there, because life can't be this hard. You know, you will have peaks. You know, this is nothing to be fearful about, because you will rise from the ashes, you will learn, you will get a lot of wisdom when it comes to your own sexuality, when it comes to death, when it comes to transformation. You know, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, also ruled by Mars, but I prefer Pluto. I have a very Plutonic chart, and I definitely can tell that, yeah, I prefer Pluto. So check where is Pluto, and for a big generation, like Pluto is in Scorpio. So that makes you dive extra deep into everything uncomfortable, okay? And you can use your intuition. You can use any skills like astrology, tarot cards to develop this ability of being a healer. A lot of healers also have the North Node in the 8th house. This is also, you know, having soulmate connection through sex. You know, sex for you is transformation. And, you know, in a past life, you might have seen it as something transactional to get your material possessions. That's not always the case, but your self-worth came from your materialism and the other way around. But now it is time to, you know, let go a little bit more how things should work out and work more with the transitions, because life will transform you if you want or not, to get you on the right path. So, you know, you're gonna learn a lot. And this is also a lot about forgiveness. You know, when it comes to Scorpio, you have to learn how to forgive. You have to own your sexuality. You have to own that, you know, sometimes it is okay to accept money from someone else, and, you know, maybe to start a joint venture with someone else, or have shared bank accounts with your partner, and learn how to deal with that. Not to spend the whole bank account. No, to share it and to cherish it. Cherish it. Oh God. My English sometimes is really funny. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the 8th house. It also has to relate to death, okay? So I'm not saying people are dying around you, but you will definitely get a concept of death. It could be a traumatic death in your family, but it could also be a friend or someone that you really looked up to, which is transforming the way you think about death. And you want to explore what it means to die and where you go to, you know. Scorpio wants to discover the darker things of life. So okay, let's move on to the next North Node. This is in the 9th house, okay? So North Node in the 9th house wants to travel far away places, wants to explore, wants to learn new languages, wants to teach. Often these people become teachers. Sagittarius is a teaching sign, definitely wants freedom. So maybe before in your life you were always in the same place and it feels a bit uncomfortable and scary to go out in the wide world, you know, to discover new places that are very foreign to you. This is also about philosophy, so seeing things less factual and more, you know, it will be like this. Okay, it's not 1 and 1 is 2. That's 3rd house, okay? But it is like, what means 1 to you? Why do we call it number 1? Where did it come from? Where did it start? It is more the philosophy about things, and to think like, you know, okay, this is called this, but why do we call it that way? You know, it's the thoughts, and it's also about religion, you know, believing in something bigger than yourself, like God, the universe. So there might be a very much, you know, the second part of your life, you feel this restlessness to learn, to understand, where do we come from? Why do people in this place do this? And making documentaries, writing, import and export business, anything foreign, and maybe you will even move abroad on a later age to understand, like, okay, you know, I want to explore, I want to live out of my comfort zone, out of my village or something like this. This can happen with the North Node in the 9th house. So yeah, that's what I have for you. Also, what else did I want to say? Yeah, one of the things I can't recommend, this is often with South Node in the 9th house. These are guru-like people. Yeah. it's okay. You might actually meet a teacher or a guru in this lifetime, but I always say be careful with who to trust, because in the end it's always you where you have to rely on. Just take the information bits from everyone and create it into your own understanding of life, your own philosophy. So let's move on to the next house, the 10th house, ruled by Capricorn. So when your North Node is in the 10th house, you came from lifetimes where it was very family oriented. So when you're younger, you tend to rely on your family for a long time. And they're like, hey, isn't it time to, you know, like go somewhere, get somewhere? These could be people that get sudden fame or sudden like responsibility without doing that much. They're like forced into this public life and they have to deal with it. They have to work with it and know what it means to be out of your familiar zone of the 4th house and, you know, go out there and be the authority. So yeah, this can be very uncomfortable. This is also making you work much harder because, you know, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So check where is your own natal Saturn to learn more about it. But yeah, it's definitely a placement where you have to learn how to work hard, to get somewhere, to be someone, to be authority and to follow your purpose no matter what. Okay, being a high achiever and let go of the thought of staying with a family or building a family. You can still have a family, but first and foremost, life wants you to understand that it is that you have to reach your own goals and be your own authority. So that's very important. Yeah, that's it for the 10th house. Let's move on to the 11th house, also ruled by Aquarius. And, you know, this is about brotherhood, futuristic innovations. Aquarius wants to do something for the world that improves something out of the box. You know, think about Tesla or anyone that's thinking out of the box that everyone's like, yeah, sure, but you will, you know, that changes something in the world. This could be, you need to see yourself as part of the world and part of a group. So you might become, part of a group activities. Instead of being the center of attention, instead of focusing on yourself, it's time to get out there and understand what it is that people want and people need, and then you can create from there, you know, and also to enjoy, to see everyone as your friend. This is not like, how can I make this person like me? No. Because when you were younger, you had these talents that you wanted to show the world. You know, you came from a place where you maybe were a gambler or someone that's like very and playful or very enjoyment focused, and it's time to be part of a group and understand what is it that other people need, what is it that other people want to do with their lives, and then respond to that need. So by having your own purpose. So what is it that improves something on a large scale and, you know, something out of the box? So yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why a lot of Aquarius, they say, are also astrologers, and they relate it to signs, you know, something scientific. They can be teachers, but it's or psychologists, but it's different. It is with the idea to improve something in the world and do it with out of the box techniques, something different, you know. So this will be your purpose when your North Node is in the 9th house, to let go of you being this artist that sells, you know, and rather be like, how can I help the world with my talents? I have a lot of talents, but I want to also be part of a group, or maybe you work in team form or something like this. Okay, so that's all about the 11th house. 11th house can also be seen as a quite lucky house. It is still about enjoying yourself, so it's more about team effort, team sport instead of me by myself doing things. So yeah, that's my recommendation for you. And let's move on to the last but not least North Node in the 12th house, which is related to Pisces. Pisces wants to merge with the universe. It is the last 12th house is the last house. It's the house where all karma will be resolved. It is where everything hidden, everything that we've missed is left. So when you have your North Node in Pisces, it is time to surrender to the universe. It is time to spend some time alone and understand what the universe is about. Where are you in this universe? And it's very funny because in one way it's a very it's an aspect that forces you to be alone, but also it's an aspect that forces you to surrender. So there are people with fame like Beyonce, who has a lot of planets in her 12th house, but she is channeling this information to do what she needs to do. So you cannot try to control where you need to go in the 12th house. You are a channel. A lot of people who can literally channel spirit, channel star beings, or these kind of things. These people often have placements in the 12th house or North Node in the 12th house. It also relates to hospitals, prisons, everything behind the scenes. So you might work in a prison. It is everything hidden from society, and it is where karma is being released. So it might be that you have accumulated some karma from your past lives, and it is time to release it. So my definite opinion is to learn how to meditate and to find the connection to the divine. It will make your life much easier. So if you know how to let go of what it is that your destiny needs to be, because the 6th house, the South Node in Virgo, wants to organize, wants to control things, wants to get things in order, wants to focus on, doing this, doing that. But the 12th house says, we will tell you where to go, what to do. You will learn that life is not, we have little control, and this is what the 12th house is telling you. You do have little control over your destiny. So it is time to let go. It's time to let go of organization, letting go of to get things in place the way you want to, and to Pisces is also a very romantic sign, so it's time to see the good of the world. Maybe you will become like a romantic novelist, or whatever it is that the universe is presenting to you. You will have your people who automatic writing, this is a service as well that is with a thought of no outcome. Service in the 6th house is money related still. 12th house is, I'm doing this service for the world and I expect nothing in return. So people with 12th house can also become a president. This is, I feel I have this service to the world and I want nothing in return. I am sacrificing myself to the world to do something. So there has to be some kind of sacrifice that will make you feel very good, like donating money or charity or something that you're doing for the sake of just doing it. So this is my video about the North Node and the South Node. Yes, please let me know where these placements are for you, to share with the community how this embodies in your life. I told you a little bit how it was for me, and with the Aquarius and Uranus, I became an SEO specialist, which was super weird for me. Like, I just wanted to travel and be free. With my Leo South Node in the 9th house, I just wanted to be free and be like somewhere. And I had to learn to have also an intellectual job. So yeah, I ended up having my own SEO and content agency, but this started with being an SEO specialist, working with writers, doing all these things. But life pushed me there. I got the job unexpectedly over there. So it's not something that I was willing to do. I think when it came to my childhood, I probably wanted to be a model, but I was too short. or an actress, because my South Node Leo wanted to be someone, was already a royal, wanted to, and life made sure that I see myself as everyone else. And I came to this point where I just let go and said, you know, everyone, I started mixing up with different kind of groups, different kind of peoples of all sorts, and I stopped judging, and life became better. I stopped controlling how things should be and what things, you know, how people should see me, and I let go of these feelings. So let me know how this feels to you. If you like my videos, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and I will thank you so much for all your support. I'm super grateful. Thank you and all the best. Bye bye.